What's up, gangos? It's been a minute, but I just want to talk about today, like why you need to be on self improvement. It's I hate saying this because it sounds a little bit weird or cringy or whatever, but it's literally a lifestyle, and it's like there's so much facets of life for in within self improvement that it's like an umbrella term for me. And I know it sounds like cringe or whatever, but it's the same thing as people who say like personal development. It's the exact same thing, right? And it's like it sounds weird, cringy, or whatever, but if you just focus on your life constantly improving, how could it ever get worse? And I feel like that's the mindset you need to have in it because people live their lives just recklessly, right? They don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. They don't know what they're going to do today. They don't know what's going to happen in 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, right? But if you're on this path where you're like constantly on self improvement, this is not something you have to tell people or whatever the case may be, right? It's just you know that you're open to change. You're trying to always improve. You're trying to constantly do better, right? So over the course of a long period of time with it, like say that's like the next 5 years of your life, the next 10 years of your life, you pretty much guaranteed that 10 years from now, I'll be better than what I am now. And for 10 years, and then in 10 years in the future, be like, damn, like right now you could be like, if you're on constantly self-improvement, right? Within a year, you're like, damn, I'm so much better than I was a year ago. And then you'll be like, I think this is like the peak of my life, right? And then 5 years from now, you'll be like, wow, I was in such a horrible state. Now I'm 10 times better. And then it just keeps going, right? So it's like a constant cycle of just your life getting better because you're on self-improvement. So it's just like, it's a mindset that you have to obtain because you want to be better. You always want to be better. There's people who will like go through life just so recklessly and then they're like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen a year from now. I don't know if I'll have this job. I don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. I don't know what's going to happen in 10 years, right? There's so much unknown, and already life is unknown, like given the future. But so why would you let it be even more unknown? At least have it in your control as much as you can, knowing that even if things change, even things are completely different, you'll be in a better state of mind. You'll be more smart. You'll have more money. You'll have more freedom. You'll have all the things that make life a good life, a good life, right? And so when people say self-improvement, it's not like, I don't know what it like would mean to someone who's just doesn't know of the lifestyle per se, but there's like different facets, and I feel like each person should determine their own facets within it. But like the common ones are like health, wealth, your knowledge, what else? I'll give you mine because the general ones are just, I don't really know. For me, it's finances, right? How I handle my money. I say finances and accounting because I have like methods on how I budget and how I like forecast my money or whatever. You have your health, which it could be your gym, diet, and you have like skincare, self-care, right? So self-care is like everything that you do to take care of yourself, right? Showering, scrubbing yourself properly, skincare, taking care of your nails, taking care of your thing. You can also include like the way you dress, the way you take care of yourself in that. These are my life sectors, right? Finances, accounting, money, they all are within one because it's just how I am. Business, work, hustle, which is if you're gonna be on the self-improvement, then you need to eventually have your own business because it's necessary in this capitalistic world or whatever. If you have a job, you're building someone else's dream and not your own. If you have a business, you can make as much as you want to make. You can build your own dreams and you can make the sky's the limit for how much you want to make, right? So, but you can't just straight go into business. There's things to learn, there's things to know, there's skills to have, there's knowledge to have, right? So, I still include work or hustling in that. So like a side hustle or a job. You have school and knowledge. I do believe the education system is horrible, but you need to go into it to get certifications, like a degree or something. But you need to separate the idea of school and knowledge. Knowledge is important. You should be a student of life forever, right? You should always be open to learning new things. And so if you go into school knowing that you're going to learn, but not for like, don't just go to school to go to school. Go to school for something useful. Like recently I just graduated with a degree in finance, right? There's people who go to school, they take out a bunch of loans and they don't even know what they're studying. They don't pay attention, right? I made sure to get a good GPA, right? 3.6. I got paid to go to school through like, FAFSA and all this and that. I got a scholarship, and so I got paid to go. So I took out no loans, so that was already a win. I got a degree in something that will always matter, right? Don't just go in there and get like a degree in like theater or some bullshit like that. Get something that's always will be known: tech, finance, accounting, things that will always matter, right? Even if you're not that interested in it, you're just getting it because you know that there's always a job market there, right? Knowledge, like I just said, you need to always be on top of learning. Like, always try to learn something, right? Don't let your brain ever slow down because you stop learning. Once you stop learning, your brain literally, like, I don't know what the science is, but literally you will feel like your brain's getting smaller because you're just not letting it actually work, right? For me, my health is just the gym, but the gym, I spend a lot of time in the gym. I spend like 15 hours a week in the gym, which is, I know it's a lot, but the gym is my hobby and it's my health. So it also, and it determines my other habits, like the way I eat, so my diet, the way I sleep, because it helps me sleep more. Other things in like just life maintenance, like how often I do laundry, how often I do my bed sheets, how often I shower twice a day, stuff like that, right? Content, right? So like actually making content like this, because I do believe we're in the digital age, and content is everything. If you're not building your personal brand, you're setting yourself up horribly, right? Your mindset and your productivity. So that's like the way you think, your philosophy, the way you approach things, the way you, like, if you have an iron mind and you think positively and you have manifestations, and like, you're not thinking negatively, you're not complaining, you're not talking shit all the time, your life will slowly, like, just off that will slowly improve, because thinking negatively is just a waste of time. It really does nothing for you. Your dreams and your vision, same kind of on the same thing, right? Where you're headed, where you're going, where you want to go. What can you see yourself doing, and you're actually enjoying? Because we live in a world where people make the word work and a job synonymous, right? But a job and work is not synonymous. A job is something you go do to make money, to make income, to make a living, right? To pay for your bills or whatever. But work, there's work in everything. If you do your chores, that's work. If you go to the shower, that's work. If you go to the gym, it's work, right? And you should become obsessed with working, because it will always be involved in your life. So hating it will cause you to just never want to do anything in life. Like people who are depressed, they hate working, or whatever the case may be, right? I don't want to go into those details nonetheless. But once you get acclimated to the idea of working, you'll understand that you want to work and have something, your income be determined off what you do for your work. And if you enjoy your work, you'll make so much more money, and you also enjoy what you do. That's what people say, enjoy your work or whatever, right? And then like girls, family, and friends. So the people around you, right? Your family matters, friends, network, acquaintances, all the same thing. And girls as in like, potential relationship, if you're a girl, guys, or whatever way you swing, right? And the last one, I just put life. That's my last sector. So what I do is I go through these sectors and write down like my current concerns, where I want to go, my problems, my solutions, this and that, right? And anything that's doesn't fall under any of those facets, I put them in life. So like something like really, really present problems that I have right now, like, oh, I just got a ticket for like driving around, police pulled me over, I'm stressed about it. Or I have like anything like that, just anything that falls under like I have to go shopping because I'm running out of food. Like you wouldn't put that in one of those facets, but you would still need to talk about it per se, right? And this is just to give you a sort of outline on what you want to base your life around and like concern, right? And if you do this, it gives you so much more structure in order to fix things, right? Because if you don't have these facets listed out for yourself, you'll never know what you need to fix, and you'll never know how to fix them, right? You just let life go and you go, yeah, I have some money in my bank account, my bills will be paid, whatever, this and that. It's like, you can't live so reactively in life. You need to be proactive, and this is the most proactive approach I've seen so far, or just how I understand. Like even recently I just read a book, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, really good book, and he talks about it, and he gives you some general sectors, like life sectors like mine, but mine are specific to me. You would have to make them for yourself, what matters to you. I think mine is a good general outline, but they're too specific for everybody. But like, he'll tell you about like health, business, philosophy, personal development, relationships, things like that, right? And he'll list it out if you want to look into his book. It's a really good book to read. He talks about this exact same thing. But you need to be on this personal development, self-improvement, lifestyle mindset, because if you're not, you're just, I generally like, I feel like I found like a glitch in the matrix where it's like, if I can constantly focus on my life getting better and better, it cuts out so much of the other noise and bullshit that you hear around. And it just has me focus on this one path where no matter what I do, I'm constantly getting better, right? And like, some days you'll have bad days, some days you'll have good days, but this whole self-improvement thing, it literally falls and fixes those issues too, because one of the big things, like I said, was mindset, and that's like thinking positively. So even when you have like problems, you're thinking positive about them. You're like, okay, without problems I would never find solutions, without problems I would never change, without problems you would never have business ideas. Like things like that start occurring in your mind consistently. You look for opportunities, you have a positive outlook on life, and it's just everything just starts getting so much better. And like even like if you have this constant feeling where you just feel like you're wasting your life, you're not productive, you don't know where you're headed, and it gives you like this sort of like anxiety or stress, and you're just like laying in bed, you're looking up at the ceiling, and you're just like, Tim, what am I doing with my life? Like, what's going on? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm headed, right? Because that's what used to always happen to me, right? When I was like younger, and I realized it's just not that even I realized. I don't even know how this like came about me. Just one day I sat down and I said, okay, you know what? What am I stressed about? And I separated them by sections, because if you write down everything you're stressed about, it would be too much. But if you can separate them and structure them out, you can start saying, okay, you know, this is what I'm concerned about financially. This is what I'm concerned about in terms of my gym. This is what I'm concerned about. And then I started laying them out, and I just fine-tuned them, and, you know, course corrected, reiterated everything, right? And it just, now I'm just like on this path, and some days I have bad days, some days I don't have that much improvement, whatever, right? You also, a big part of this is just having like a long-term mindset on this, and that's why I say it's like a lifestyle. It's not like something you do for a month or a week or a day or whatever. You do this for the rest of your life, right? And so let's give you an example. Someone who goes to the gym and goes, okay, I'm trying to improve my life or whatever, right? And they go to the gym for a month. They might not see any gains. They might not have lost any weight. They might not have put on any muscle. But if they said, okay, you know, I'm gonna start going to the gym for the rest of my life, they're 100% guaranteed to see gains, because they have such a good long-term mindset. They're delaying short-term gratification, looking for long-term satisfaction, and they're gonna get it because the timeline is so long. It's bound to happen. And so all of these facets of mine, I know they're all gonna improve. Whether it comes to how much money I have, how much freedom I have, how healthy I am, how much I'm sleeping. Like every little facet is essentially taken care of, and every little facet is gonna be improved over and over and over again. And I'll tell you one thing, it compounds like crazy. And this is what he talks about in the book, In the Slight Edge. He talks about if you constantly make bad decisions, which happen in your day-to-day, not in the long term, in your day-to-day disciplines, if you make bad decisions over a long enough period of time, they start compounding and shit starts getting worse. Like the quote, when it rains, it pours. It's the same thing, negatively or positively. But if you make this good, positive, daily decision, daily disciplines, your life starts compounding like crazy. And like example I could give you personally, right? When I first started going to the gym, I would do like just cardio, I'd watch a show or whatever, I half-assed it or whatever, right? And that's fine. Like just for you to start is the biggest thing, right? So that's normally the biggest hurdle. To start slow, whatever, right? And over time you'll learn, you'll start correcting course, and you'll do more of the good things, less of the bad things or whatever, right? But I would go to the gym, and after a week, after a month, after like 3 months, I still didn't really lose weight, right? But then after like 6-month mark, I just constantly told myself, keep going, just keep going, because I know this was something that worked for other people. It had to work for me, right? And I eventually started losing weight, and I was like, yo, and people started telling me, hey, you look skinnier, this and that, right? And I was like, oh my God, this actually works, right? So I kept going and going and going, right? And then like I started correcting other things. I started fixing my sleep. I started fixing my diet. I started fixing my form and my technique. I started taking care of myself more. I started buying clothes that made me fit more into the gym. I did research on what workouts or exercises to do, right? And you do this naturally. Don't expect yourself to know to do all these things right at the beginning. How would you know if you've never been in there, right? This happens slowly over time, right? And like the first year and a half, I lost weight, and so that was progress, and it was enough for me, right? And as I kept going, and after a year and a half, I started enjoying it, right? Because it's not just a hobby anymore. It's something I actively like doing. And then after the second year, I started putting on muscle, because I started going for so long, and I was lifting weights and doing cardio this whole time, right? But my goal was just to lose weight, and I unintentionally started putting on muscle, right? And I was doing it so consistently, the muscle started coming on like this, right? And people would be like, yo, bro, you're huge. Yo, bro, how do you get so aesthetic? Yo, you have the exact physique I want. Like, these are actual things I heard. I'm not just bullshit, right? And after the second year, I became pretty aesthetic, right? I had the V taper, I had veins, my legs were big, but that was just natural, right? I didn't really train legs. And after the second year, the gains started coming on literally too fast. I literally had to slow down on my going to the gym, because I was putting on muscle too fast. And you won't hear people say that, because people don't stick with things long enough, but shit starts compounding like crazy. If you ever heard of a penny doubling every day for a month, or stock market after 10 years, or crypto after a long period of time. Like, things really do compound. Everything in life compounds, right? So I'm telling you, the first 6 months, slow. I didn't see any progress, very minimal, right? And after the second year, I was putting on muscles too fast, or I had to literally slow myself down. And it's like, that's all because of the habits I built initially, the inputs I put in initially, right? The habits compounded, the progress compounded, everything compounded. And it wasn't just something I had to go do. I had to go to, no, I wanted to go to the gym. My life revolved around me going to the gym because there was so much other habits revolved around it, right? It controlled my diet, it controlled my sleep, it controlled my showering, it controlled my mood, it controlled everything, right? But it's like, that's what happens when you have life sectors that are based upon the success of other people, right? You know, successful people do this. Maybe if you do it too, you'll become that much closer to success. Look, this is what I want my channel to be about, right? I just want to constantly talk about what I'm doing in my life, what I'm learning, how I'm focusing on self-improvement, right? Because I think it's like when I talk about the gym, I talk about it because it's such an easy concept to understand, but I really don't love the gym the way I love self-improvement, because, and I realized this very, like, not early on, but it's like people would go to the gym and they'd be like, yeah, I love counting calories, I love strength training, I love breaking my like records. When I go to the gym, I don't bench. I just started recently bench pressing, but I didn't bench press for like the first 2-3 years. I don't do squats, I don't do deadlifts, I don't do none of that, right? I don't even count calories, I don't wear stringers, like the typical gym bro. I'm not like them at all, right? And I always thought like it was kind of weird because I would be in the gym every day, I'd be surrounded by these guys, and they would assume that I was like a gym bro, but I'm not, right? It's just, the gym is just a part of my self-improvement, but the self-improvement is what I love doing, right? I love reading daily. I love I started recently waking up early. I'm realizing how beneficial it is. I like learning every day. I like going to the gym. I like making money. I like all these little different things. I love taking care of myself, like self-care and all of that, right? That's what I actually enjoy doing. That's what I want to talk about. That's what I want to push. That's what I want other people to do, because it's just, I see so many people living such a horrible life. And horrible as in not based upon my opinion, based off what they're saying about their own life. Like, I see people unhappy, they're depressed, they don't know where they're going, they feel lost. And it's like, that's exactly how I felt, right? I was lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I was surrounded by the wrong people. I felt like I was doing the wrong things. I never felt productive. I never felt like I was improving. And it was literally this shift in life where it was like, it wasn't even like this drastic quantum leap or something. It was just the fact that I said, you know what? I don't want my life to keep going to waste, and every day I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen in a year, 6 months, or whatever. I want to be in control. I want to know that my life will consistently get better. So by the time I have a family, by the time I'm old, my money will be good, my health will be good, my family will be good. Like, all of these little things that matter so much, and you'll see it. Like, you'll see all these grown people who are like stressed about having a kid, or stressed about the next job, or stressed about like, there's all these menial things that they could have easily controlled if they just started earlier, right? So I wanna push this idea of self-improvement very early on, because I do wish I started around like 17, 18, I guess. 16, 17, 17, 18, right? But if I started at like 14, 15, my life would have been so much better. Like, and I don't regret nothing. You shouldn't have regrets, but like, I mean, as in like, if I started at 14, I don't know how much farther I would have been, right? And you see all these really big like YouTubers or whatever, right? These guys started very early on. Like Iman Gadzhi, one of the biggest names in the space, he's all about self-improvement in a certain aspect. He just focuses more on like digital marketing and stuff like that, right? But if you go to his channel, you can see he's been on the self-improvement, this sort of grind since he was 14, 15, right? And that's why he's gotten so far at the age of 21, 22, where he's like a multi-millionaire. And it's like, you can complain all you want. Oh, I wish I started earlier, this and that. It's like, don't complain about it. You now know about it, you're learning about it. Start now. Start shifting your mind, start doing the things that are required, start seeing what the successful people are doing, start trying to emulate them. I'm telling you, in the end, you're gonna win. We're all gonna fucking win, I'm telling you.